welcome back to another Fabulous Confabulation with me, Jay Mills. Now today I have the pleasure of speaking with a beauty who has a heart for business, fashion, and writing. This beauty is 15 years old and has opened her own spa and boutique exclusively for children and teens. She is a children's fashion designer and she has written 3 books that are mandatory readings for several school districts. I would like to welcome Essynce Moore. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was awesome. I got a bunch of really cool stuff I'm super happy about.
That's good. So now, your spa and boutique. What inspired you to open a spa and boutique at the age of 13?
Well, you know what? Like any girl, I always love being pampered.
Right.
I love getting my hair and nails done, everything did.
Right.
So I really wanted to create a place, an outlet for the youth where they can get those things and those services. And that's what really that's how I came up with the idea.
So, can you elaborate more on Essynce Couture Spa and Boutique? Like, what does it offer for children and teens?
So, Essynce Couture Spa and Boutique is geared towards ages 5 through 17.
Okay.
And we do nails, hair, facials, and then we have a little boutique area with some clothes I design. So, it's really just a positive, friendly outlet for the youth.
Really? Wow. I need to go stop by there. But where is this located? So if any beauties are interested in going, like how can they go?
Well, we're actually mobile. So we come to you. So just reach out and we will pull up.
Okay. All right. I'll put the information below. So what are some responsibilities of being a business owner, and like what challenges come with that?
A lot of the responsibilities, I don't know, I find a way to see it as something else. I'm happy about it because it's really my baby. I'm responsible for inspiring others. I'm responsible for writing and just doing what I love. So it doesn't feel like a responsibility. And the challenges, I would say, are just the business perspective of everything. I'm learning a lot about finances, and math has never really been my subject. So that's definitely one of the challenges.
Okay. So you are also a motivational speaker. So do you have a main message that you usually like to say to your audience when you are speaking to them?
I always say my age is just a blanket covering what I'm truly capable of. And that just goes to show that my age doesn't define who I am, and it doesn't define who you are. We do that for ourselves.
I like that. So that's usually like the main message.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So you are a role model and influencer yourself, but who do you tend to look up to?
I look up to my mom. I always have, because she's always been right there in front of me. I've seen her be put down and get back up stronger, and I don't know, she's just always been that outlet, that person I've idolized.
Oh, that's nice. Moms are the best.
Moms are great, guys.
Right, they're the best. You also do fashion, which is in your spa and boutique as well. How would you define fashion?
I think that's the beauty of fashion. It can't be defined. Just because there's so many different variations and styles and things to try. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love it. It's never boring. And I don't know, it's fun. It's just
fashion.
fun.
Yeah, fashion is just one of those things where like you can be free.
Yeah, there are no boundaries.
Right, there's basically a way where people express themselves.
Definitely.
So that was a good answer.
Thank you.
Can you describe your creative process? Like when you're designing clothes, do you usually look up what's trending? Do you do your own thing?
I never look for trends because things always seem to get repetitive, and I'm never trying to be like anyone else. So I'll usually come up with an idea or a concept, or I'll ask my mom, like, give me a word, give me a theme, and then I'll do all kinds of research, and a lot of it is just loving people's ideas and then turning them into my own. So I just piece things together. I like this, but I don't like it with that. And that's how I've been doing it since I was 6. So I'll just put everything together, and next thing you know, I've got a collection.
Wow. And how do you, get people on board with that? So you're making your own thing, and it's not necessarily a trend as of now. How do you get people to, go on board with that?
Well, you see, there's so many different sides to me. One day I'm wearing all black. The next I'm wearing a rainbow, basically. I'm a walking unicorn. So I think because there are so many sides to me, I embrace that through fashion, and everyone can relate to something that I've designed just because there's so much.
So would you say that's your your style? Like, really, you don't really have, it's kind of just...
It changes.
It changes.
All the time, and it's always been that way.
Okay. So you don't, do you go with trends, or you really just like...
I wake up and I ask myself, how do I feel today? Do I feel like a mermaid, a unicorn, a witch? Like, what do I want to go for today? And then I just go from there. Yeah.
Okay. You also have gotten the opportunity to participate in various fashion shows and pageants. Now, was it your outfits that you designed being showcased, or was it you modeling in the actual show?
You know what's funny? It's always been fashion for me. Modeling was never part of the deal.
Okay.
It's always been fun, but never a passion.
Okay.
So, yes, I have modeled just because it's kind of like a package deal, really.
Right.
But my clothes have always been my priority.
Okay, so your clothes is really what you're showcasing.
Yeah.
Nice. So you wrote 3 books, which are being used by multiple school districts. Now, what encouraged you to do that?
Well, you know what? My mom says that my books aren't a want, they're a need. And I think a lot of that is because when I write, I'm writing from my heart. I'm writing what's in the minds of today's youth, and so many people can relate to it. So many people of all ages and ethnicities, and it's really a beautiful story. So we put these books in schools because it was a story for everyone, boys, girls, and I don't know. It wasn't the original plan. I write because I love to write, but the fact that it's inspiring so many others makes it 10 times worth it.
Okay, and how did you get that to happen? Like, to make it a mandatory...
Networking is so important. I go to events all the time, and my mom is like pushing me, Essynce, go introduce yourself to this person.
Right.
And I go, I say, hi, my name is Essynce, and once we get that conversation going, next thing you know, my book is in a school.
Wow. Wow. Do you think that, your mom pushing you to, network and talk has, how do you call it?
Benefited me?
Yes, benefited you.
Definitely.
Like, are you more comfortable talking to people?
Yes. Because I started when I was 10. Okay. I never intended to do motivational speaking.
Really?
That was never a goal. But
right.
Then one day I had to speak at my event to thank everyone for coming. My mom was like, Essynce, go thank your guests. So I come back and she says, there was something there. We have to keep doing this. You have to keep speaking.
Nice. And then your books. It's like 6th grade chronicles, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So,
thank you. You're welcome.
Is it more like your story and advice for students? Like, explain what it's about. I looked into it, but it seemed really interesting.
So, every day after school, my mom would always ask me the same question I think every child gets asked. How was your day at school?
Okay.
And I would always have some crazy, bizarre story to tell her, and my mom goes, you should start journaling. You should start writing this stuff down. And that's what I started doing because I've always loved writing. So I started writing down what happened in school and what's happening in my mind, and it gets deep, like how I feel about these crushes, how I feel about my friends, how I feel about the schoolwork that's being given to me, and it becomes powerful because next thing you know, I'm saying things everyone wants to say, but no one's had the opportunity to.
That's true. You're basically giving kids an outlet.
Yeah, a voice.
And just letting kids know that they're not alone.
Exactly.
Like, you might have experienced a situation that they might have experienced, and like, oh, okay, like, I'm not alone in this. That's really nice.
Thanks.
So, what author inspired you and why?
I think I would have to say Stephen King and Edgar Allan Poe. We started reading Poe in middle school, and his poems, his stories, there was something very gruesome, but also very interesting about them.
He's an interesting one.
I love how people stand out. I love it when it's different. I love it when it's memorable.
Right.
And that's exactly what those authors are capable of. That's exactly what they've done. And it's powerful.
Yes.
I want my writing to be like powerful.
And you can definitely do that. So, what was an early experience where you learned that, words are powerful, language is powerful?
I think that's something we all know, even from the littlest of things. Like, you know what? My mom has never hit me. She's never raised her voice to a point where it was just hard. The worst thing she's ever said to me was, I'm disappointed in you. And that right there, that was enough. Like, words are powerful. I only need to hear that once. Let me get it together.
Let me get my act together.
Yes.
Okay. So, are you working on any new books at the moment? Are you coming out with something?
Well, I have so many ideas. I want to challenge myself. I'm going to get into fiction. So I think that's what I want to do for 2018.
Okay.
I want to start writing a new book and see where it goes.
Okay. And for, middle schoolers who want to read, those chronicles that you have out, where can they, purchase those books?
Well, my books can be found on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, or my website, which is essyncecouture.com.
Okay. All right. And what are some things you do? Because every writer, I feel, has writer's block. So what are some things that you do to, overcome that?
Well, writer's block is so natural, and it could be so frustrating as well. I think the best thing you do is not force it. Like, give yourself some time to relax. Because when I try to force my writing, it ends up being horrible.
Okay.
So just give yourself some time, relax, chill, watch a movie, and let yourself get inspired.
That's very true. Because, you write, and then you're like, writer's block. Then you, take that time, and then that's when the best stuff starts to come to your mind. Yeah. I'm trying to, get into, the writing. And I, try to, songwrite because I sing and stuff like that. So I've been trying to write. And
you know what? I saw this quote. It was some advice that this guy had given. He was a writer. He had given it to some kids. And the advice was, when you're writing a story, think of who your character is, what their goal is, and everything you can do to prevent them from reaching that goal, and that's your story. It's such a simple way of thinking about it, and I was like, oh my God, I think this might have just saved my life.
Wow, no, that's really good advice. That's a good steps,
It's a great way to look at it.
Right, exactly. So what made you, start to write and not just read, basically?
Writing has always just been my way of expressing myself. I have a problem. Writing is my medicine. When I get it out, I feel good. I feel like I can breathe. And I don't know. It's just one of those things that I've always been drawn to. And even when it gets frustrating and complicated, even when I say I'm going to quit, I find myself writing the same thing.
Right.
So it's just in me.
Right. So how do you balance, writing, your schoolwork, your business, your fashion, and a social life at the same time? Because that's a lot. I don't know about you guys, but that's a little.
A lot of it is really just making it work, fitting everything in, but not to the point where I'm overwhelmed. When I'm stressed, nothing gets done.
Right, exactly.
And you know what? My friends play such a big role in keeping me grounded and keeping me from getting to that point, because they're understanding. And I heard this quote once: you want to learn who your real friends are, build a business. And that's true.
And you'll see who's really there for
you. Exactly. So I think that's how I make it work.
Okay. So for any beauties who want to be a writer or an entrepreneur or a fashion designer, what is some advice that you can give them?
I would say that your situation, your circumstances don't define who you are. You yourself do that. Because there's going to be so many people who try to stop you, so many people who try to tell you your dreams are too big. They're thinking too small. You just got to keep that mind statement. You want something, go get it. Once you have a purpose, you have something worth fighting for.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. This was so much fun. And guys, I'll put a link below where you can find all her merchandise and her books. And before you go, I do have a gift for you.
Ooh.
So, you can open it.
I love presents.
Yes. It's a Girls with Beauty and Brain shirt.
This is adorable. This is so cute.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you for having me.
This is all for the Fabulous Confabulation. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more.
Bye.